Hello, everybody. We are here for another fantastic SMB3 Randomizer tournament. This is a second part of a series. We had a little bit of an issue last time, so we're going to go ahead and get things started off here pretty quick, and we will be getting our runners started in moments. So we are going to be running here a regular Group 2 flag set, I should say. It's going to be a pretty standard run. It's not brackets. We are going to include the end card game. Other than that, it's basically as vanilla as it gets for a randomizer, if that makes any sense at all. As we're continuing and finishing up getting set up, go ahead and get your guesses into chat. What do you think? What's World 1? All right, I'm going to go ahead and get my guess in for World 3. And Zero Wing keeping me honest, really appreciate that. I will go ahead and get that marked here because you are absolutely correct. This is game 2, so we're going to go ahead and signify that. Budsy has already taken game number 1. This is Group C, as in, come on in. It's time for an SMB3 Randomizer tournament. So now our runners are going to be getting started here in just moments. Jaylow already off and running and will be into World 7. And this is going to be exciting. It looks like we've got 4 pipes right off the bat in the very first part of World 7. So Jaylow just trying to make sense of where he is at this point. And looks like we'll be playing a little bit of recon here. Decides to go ahead and take a mushroom. I don't hate this idea. A little bit of item management at the beginning can definitely help. On the left side of the screen, we have Jaylow7. On the right side, we've got budzyRNG, and I am on commentary today. I am Growlwolf. So we welcome you in today to SpeedGaming. This is one of the round-robin matches that we have been featuring all this month so far, and we are looking extremely excited for the middle of next month where we get into the brackets and or Challenge Cup. So our runners here are going to be looking forward to potentially playing in either of those. We do have some wildcard slots still available, and of course we will be looking forward to seeing who fills those slots for sure. Both of these runners do come from the Group C, which happens to be Macobra52, budzyRNG, Leslie Pro 04, and Jaylow7's group. So a very powerful grouping here for sure. budzyRNG, of course, already taking 1 win from Jaylow, seeks to take the second one today, whereas Jaylow is looking for his first win out of this tournament. Of course, this is his first match, so no big deal. There are a lot of real estate left to go. Looks like Jaylow's decided to go ahead and play the first level here, which he'll have to play eventually. So he thought, hey, I'm here, might as well play it. But I do believe he's realized, okay, I think he's going to go ahead and play through it. A little bit of a problem with that Lakitu. Couldn't quite get the jump off, I think, that he was looking for. And he is, of course, going to be looking for maybe a little bit of a shortcut here. So we'll check back in on that in a moment because we have budzyRNG, who's already playing the Fortress. And, of course, we will be looking forward to seeing what this will do for him for sure. Jose Javier Good, we welcome you. Hello. Welcome to our most wonderful time. SMB3 Randomizer is a great thrill for, I think, just about anybody. If you don't enjoy an SMB3 Randomizer run, stick around. We'll have something for everyone. But budzyRNG now currently through World 2 Fortress. Jaylow finally able to finish it off. Lakitu, no big deal, but he's still able to finish off with the mushroom. So very nice indeed. And we are looking forward to seeing what happens next for him. May go ahead and play the Piranha here. Might as well. I mean, you're already there. Looks like Budsy already has the answer he's looking for. So Jaylow is going to have to go back and find that World 2 or that World 7 Fortress that he needs, which of course we know as World 2 Fortress. So he will be coming back to that here in just one moment. He will be getting an item here. It is a P-Wing. So that is definitely a useful item early on. You can do a whole lot with that. Budsy with a death there at the end of the level. That is not okay. He's going to have to try to replay this one. A little bit of a tricky level here. The speedrunners make it look extremely easy in that they can jump straight up onto that Lakitu, get a flying head start by flying over that wall to the right. You see Budsy currently going around and are able to pick up a lot of time flying over this level essentially. Budsy, unfortunately, not able to get that P speed, but is still making really good time through this. So just got to watch out for the Spinies because they will get you. That is absolute fact. But he is no longer a prisoner of this level and will be moving on to see what happens next. Jaylow on his way through some ice blocks, looking for a mushroom. He's going to get it. So very nicely done there. A little bit of production, no issue there, as he does need to have a little bit. Going into these levels is never a bad idea, especially with not knowing what enemy set you're looking for, not knowing anything more than just what you have right now, and a little bit of a damage boost is not a problem. So very nicely done on his part for sure. 4-4 now done for budzyRNG. He's now into and out of the Piranha stage, flying as he goes in to make the acquaintance of the Maestro of Mayhem. Everybody's favorite, more or less, Ludwig von Koopa, who has a symphony in mind for sure. We'll just see if it's one of the long ones or if he manages to get off the stage with a hook real quick. Jaylow now into the correct fort, not far behind. He does have that Piranha and the stage 4-4 both done already, so he's not going to have to worry about that anymore, but he does have to worry about these spikes because they are nasty, and he is doing a fine job of definitely getting over them, whereas budzyRNG now through the Conductor of Calamity, the cacophonous, chaotic conductor himself, Ludwig von Koopa, and that's going to be it. Get your guesses in, chat. What's next? I got to go 3 again. I'm eventually going to get this right. And until then, I will continue to guess the exact same thing because eventually I'm going to be right. So 3 it is. That's what I'm saying. Still zeroing in on that reverse vanilla. Hopefully we can get that here soon. There's a ton of seats that we play through, and it's bound to happen some point. Why not this time? 6 it is. So we are off to the races, and so is Budsy, who finds an early pipe. Oh, that skippage is nice. Budsy looking at panel 2, seeing if he's got a feeling for what he wants to do here. Not exactly sure. A lot to go. Budsy finds 7-6. So, 7-6, no problem. Here's a clip. He's 7-6 now out of the range for Budsy. That's only in the rearview mirror. Takes a star fanfare because, hey, he's got a gold star today. That was a beautiful clip, and we will definitely call that one out. Jaylow with a beautiful P-speed strat with a couple of cannonball dodges. Unfortunately, Ludwig von Koopa ate way too many fries this time. Oh, what is a hitbox, and what was that? Because Ludwig von Koopa just happened to assign damage still to Jaylow, which is highly unfortunate. But Jaylow coming right back into the level. It's time for another mushroom. It's time for another fight with Ludwig von Koopa, and it's time for a hammer on the side of Budsy. So, unfortunately, not going to be much of a help on this one. But once he gets to 2, 3, or 4, that hammer could come in hand. It could come in handy, honestly. Handy hammer. So Budsy looking for an opportunity to use that. Jaylow looking for an opportunity at revenge here, as he does not want to be hitboxed by that again, which unfortunately does happen when Ludwig von Koopa comes out of his damage spiral, and it's not fully switched over, so Mario can't assign damage because Ludwig von Koopa is still identified as being invincible, and therein cannot take any damage. So highly unfortunate, but Jaylow putting on the boots and able to get that done in a very nicely fashion. So he is going to be getting onto World 6 here in just a moment. Meanwhile, budzyRNG is finishing off his fight with Boom Boom, and that is going to be a interesting take on this. It very much was a see a fort, play a fort, which is interesting to me because he only had 1 fort to play with there, but he decided to go for it. So if Budsy had not done that, he would be very far ahead at this point. I'm very curious to see what Jaylow does here. He sees that there is a pipe at the front. Of course, he takes it. That's the smart move here. And we'll see if he goes after that 4 panel. So I would say at this point, if Jaylow continues on, gets through 2-5, sorry. If he gets through 2-5 here and is able to continue moving on, find the fort, play the fort, build that bridge, I would consider him still in the lead, or at least having caught up immensely. Jaylow saying, I don't like you to that chain chomp, had to take him down. Hey, I love it. I love it. You don't always get a chance to take down a chain chomp. Might as well take it while you've got it. I mean, you don't always get an opportunity like that. So Jaylow now telling that Chain Chomp he is done with him and will take a 1-up at the end of the level as he has not matched 3 cards, and that's quite all right. That's a little bit of a time loss that you don't really want to use if you don't have to. So very nicely done from Jaylow. He is going to go ahead and find a fortress. That is going to be 7F1 Fort Knox, not paired with 7F2. So 7F2 could be lurking in the darkness anywhere. And I am very curious to see if that shows up and when. Whereas Jaylow and Budzy both having to go find a tail some way or another. We'll see if Budzy... Okay, I lied. Zero Wing once again keeping me on my toes and keeping me straight. So Zero Wing, absolutely correct. 7F2 was played by Budzy already. So 7F1 and 7F2 were paired up. I apologize. I was wrong. Zero Wing keeping me honest. And actually just telling me I was wrong. And that's cool. That's totally cool. Jaylow now on his way to get the tail. Budzy right behind him. We have ourselves a match, folks. Jaylow is on fire here. Has made an awesome decision. budzyRNG unfortunately saw a fort, played a fort. It did not help this time. If that was the correct fortress, he of course would still be in the lead. But now our runners are just a door apart from each other. Now Budzy hot on the heels of Jaylow. Using a little bit of a tail strat. I like it. I do. That prevents him from taking the P speed and using it too quickly, which of course would mean that the flight would potentially exit early. So going with a little bit of a swag statue kill there, and our runners are immediately synced up with just a coin separating the two. So very nicely done. Now on to Lemmy. I do appreciate that, Zero Wing. I was just giving you a hard time. I really appreciate all the efforts and help in chat because you guys are amazing and are very receptive of everything. So thank you, or perceptive, I should say. Receptive and perceptive. You guys are awesome. So thank you so much for that. And Budzy on his fight with Lemmy, Jaylow being just a little bit more cautious, and that is quite all right here as... Okay, it looks like neither one of our runners is going to get a command this time. Lemmy being a little bit of a pain for these two, as he is just not wanting to go down without a fight. Budzy now with the wand. Jaylow just trying to keep it close. Wants to make sure he doesn't take on any unnecessary damage. Probably still feeling a little tilted from that fight with Ludwig a little bit ago, but it's not going to show. Lemmy is going to go down without a fight. And budzyRNG has a cat walking across the keyboard. And we're getting into the next world. What's your guess? I'm going to have to go with 3. I still haven't gotten 3 correct yet. Oh, there we go. It is 3. Unfortunately, it is not 5, though. So the vanilla world, reverse world order has not occurred this time. But darn, I thought we were close. All right, so budzyRNG now on his way through and gets a tail. So that's going to be very helpful for sure. Having a tail in a randomizer, highly underrated. Let me tell you, it is an underrated item because having that tail really helps protect you in levels like 4 or 5 where you need to kind of just gently get yourself down and not take any damage by any of the bullet bills, even the piranha plants. A little bit of a lower, slower fall is not a bad idea. Looks like Budzy going to go ahead and ignore that end card. Jaylow should be getting one here in just a little bit. Of course, he hasn't played as many levels as Budzy has, so that's why his score is just a little bit behind. That in-card game does show up at 80 grand and at everything subsequent from that. So 160,000, 240,000, 320,000, and so on and so forth. So that is why that in-card randomly pops up. We do have 80,000 points that are required, and that's actually quite a few levels. So it looks like Jaylow's going to be taking a hidden path here. Very interesting. Looks like he wants to see about maybe getting an item here, see if it's anything good. It ends up Frog Suit. Frog Suit, Best Suit, and now Jaylow on his way through 4-5 with a little bit of a mushroom in disguise, if you will, as he's looking just to have a little bit of a damage boost. He gets it. He's able to finish off the level. Budzy now on his way through the coin chip, finishes it off, gets another P-Wing. Not a bad idea. Not a bad item to have. And he's going to be able to utilize that most likely in one of the airships as you are able to fly through those levels. No pun intended. Okay, pun slightly intended. and actually also go for the one grab at the end, which does shave off a few seconds of time. So not a bad option there. Definitely not a bad option. There are other items which are less desirable. budzyRNG, unable to grab that star before that Lakitu comes down and does provide a little bit of a problem for him. Jaylow now on his way through cautiously. He's able to avoid that hot foot. No issues there at all. The disco ball not going to be a factor either. And Jaylow now through his fight with Boom Boom. 3 shots, 3 kills. You're out. All skills. Budsy now finally through and will not have to play that level again. Thankfully, it's enough of an easy level that you think it's going to be okay. And then something like that happens and you immediately question everything. 5-8 now finally down for Budsy. Jaylow3 F1. Can you ban the commentator? You could try. Well, actually, no, don't try that. That would actually work, and I'm not sure okay with that. I could definitely... I don't know. Anyway, so Jaylow now on his way through 3F1. See if he gets the orb. He does not. Star runs out just before, but not before being extremely close. Budsy now looking to see what he wants to find here. Okay, 3F1 comes up for Budsy as well. So both of our runners once again in the same fortress. Jaylow, okay, goes ahead and plays the mushroom house. Wants to have another item. And he'll be rewarded with a fire flower. Fear and blood and bands. I will stick to my puns, and if that's enough to get me fired, then so be it. But for now, you cannot stop me. budzyRNG now into World 3, and he is still having problems trying to figure out where he wants to go with Wendy. And looky there, folks. Atlantis has shown its ugly head once again. So Budsy now into everyone's favorite, Atlantis, which is unskippable unless you have a cloud, which is not a bad idea here. So Jaylow really deciding what he wants to do here. I believe that pipe to the right behind that fortress is the one that's necessary for Wendy. So Jaylow finding out very quickly what he needs to do here, and we'll be going back and playing Atlantis in just a moment, whereas Budsy is already into Atlantis. A cloud here would be a huge option, and Jaylow just trying to figure out what he wants to equip before going into his fight with Atlantis. I have chosen puns. Yes, I have. I have a 10-month-old, and the dad jokes have to start so that I'm ready when he gets older. Therein, you all get to share with me. And a 3-4 World 3, excellent point by Zero Wing, as this is making this a lot more maniacal. The fact that there was 2 fortresses on the left and neither one of them opened up the way to Wendy means that that fortress will have to build the bridge over top of where Budsy just went across. And now Budsy going to have to play one more fortress just to get to Wendy's castle. So even though this wasn't a necessary fortress for the sake of the locks or anything, so 4F1 not required except that it was route specific. So Budsy going to have to finish this one. So will Jaylow. Both had to go through Atlantis because no clouds yet, and they're just going to have to play a bad one. So I almost feel bad rolling this, but I don't really. Hence the almost. So Budsy now on his way through his Boom Boom fight. Jaylow right behind him, just about a level between these two. And Jaylow playing an excellent match so far. Got to the 50-50s correct so far. Budsy's just on fire. He is moving so quick through these, but it all could come down to a great equalizer at the end with World 8. So very interesting to see what happens. So Jaylow now into 4F1. Darn it. Jaylow unfortunately takes the wrong side of a thwomp and is going to have to start that over. Meanwhile, Budsy into his fight with Wendy, who is not playing nice. That P-Wing not going to be a factor anymore. These Koopalings have come to play today. That is going to be the end of Wendy. This is everybody's favorite time. At least it's one of my favorite times. I love these mini games. Get your guesses in. What's next? We've seen 3, 6, and 7 so far. So 1, 2, 4, 5. What you got? I'm going to have to go with Land of the Giants. we're going to go World 4. Swamp now still being a problem for Jaylow, but no longer, as a Starman comes out on the side of Jaylow and get your bros or orbs or whatever you want to do. Upside down question mark ball of doom has come out as well. So Jaylow is now on his way to Windy. Budzy now on his way to Larry as we are into World 1. Interesting to okay. Unfortunately, this run is invalid, but we're going to have to take it anyway. 3F1 has been played already. 3F2, which we currently see on Budzy's side, is not in World 8. Therein, this is a bad seed. It's just a bad seed is bad, and I can't help that. But Budzy now on his way through 3F2. Jaylow on his way through World 2's airship, and a fight with Wendy shall commence in a moment. And I'm a little curious as to why Budzy played this fortress here, because the other fortress is route required, and I don't believe the lock is in the way. So Budzy once again playing the see a fort, play a fort. And if it breaks the lock, totally cool, no big deal. But if it didn't, then that would have been another fortress he played without needing it, as he has that fortress in the route. He has to play that anyway, unless he decides to cloud it. And with it being a fortress, you already know what your fortresses are going to be. There are no betas, but now he's got a cloud. And since he has a cloud, he could potentially cloud that fortress. But with it being World 1's fortress, which does make sense because the other lock is completely out of the route, you know, not a terrible idea. So all in all, it ended up working out for Budzy. Very nicely done. Unfortunately, that play can be a little aggressive, which is why a lot of runners won't do it. But no harm, no foul in this case. It happened in 6 that it wasn't the right one. In World 1, it's the right idea. So very well played on the side of Budzy. Jaylow is going to go ahead and go with the strat that I think normally we would expect. But hey, it's all good. It gives us something to talk about. So now Budzy is on his way through the airship. There is not much left in World 1 except for a World 3 airship and a fight with Larry here in just a moment. Jaylow is on his way through World 1's fortress. We'll find out quickly that that is not the correct fort, and he knows it because that lock is in the way, and if it wasn't in the way, then that's where the World 1 lock could be. So he knows it's not. He gets a star for his effort. Interestingly enough, that hand level is going to give a cloud. So if any of the other hand level stages come out, we could see a lot of clouds and could very quickly speed up the second half of the race. So I'm very interested to see how that plays out. budzyRNG into the next world. Get your guesses in. I'm going to go with 4. Got to go with 4 again. I've only been right once so far, and that was 3, and I had to guess it 3 times. So if I have to guess 4 3 more times, so be it. There are 4 lights. Jaylow7 on his way through 3F2. He is swimming with the fishies, or in this case, the booze. Star comes out for Budzy from the princess. The pipes are not going to be helpful. He's going to pop out over to the right by the mushroom house that we saw. There are only 2 pipes in World 2, so that is not going to be a help. And Budzy's going to have to go the long way around. So now it is time for him to find his first level. And we've got Jaylow now onto a fight with a hammer brother. Very interested to see what happens here. 3-5 in the works for Budzy. Jaylow is once again given a star. Stars abound in this current randomizer. Budzy swimming like mad to take no damage from the Electrodes. Jaylow is currently flapping as fast as he possibly can, just to not take any damage and have kind of a slow fall there. He'll be able to take the top route and will glide safely down as to not take any damage by the flamethrowers, and will be into his fight with Larry in just a moment. Budzy finds the 4 panel, and that is going to be 3-9, home of one of the places where you can get infinite, well, 99 lives in World 3 if you were to skip or if you were to take a shell and spit it in between or throw it, I guess, in between the 2 bullet bills there and then stand over the top. It'll actually do enough damage as it's rolling that it will eventually give you 1-ups, and you can stand there for the length of the timer of the level, and it'll give you 99 lives. So we used to do that as kids, and I always got mad because my younger brother would do it, and I could not get the levels because he would then beat the level afterwards. Budzy unable to finish off the blooper and is going to have to restart World 4. Meanwhile, hot on his heels is Jaylow, just about a level behind. Okay, interesting. It looks like Budzy is going to go ahead and skip that. Says, I don't want to deal with it again. Can't say I blame him. Jaylow realizing, wait, there's only 2 pipes, and oh wait, nope, gotta check, gotta make sure. Budzy on his way through the fortress now. He does have a safe spot there, so he won't have to go back behind 3-5. Good call to go ahead and play that boomerang, brother. Gets you safe a little bit, that way you don't have any mishappens. And Jaylow now into 3-5, so he's, I believe, just skipped a level as well. Budzy not having success in World 6 F3's Carpet Fort, and he's going to have to start the fortress over. Interestingly, takes a P-Wing here, not a star, and he's basically going to fly through this. He can actually go through or go over the thwomp in the middle of the level. I guess that was a hard word to say, but he's not going to. He's going to fly in between. Unfortunately, does take damage, as that is a hard place to do, as Mario likes to drop when he's flying. I guess that's what happens when you try to fly with a tail. But what do I know? I've never tried it. Escalator time for Budzy, as most of the monsters just wander off the stage. Drybone says, I don't get paid enough for this. Hotfoot's not going to go anywhere. He's being looked at. So social anxiety, Hotfoot is now out of the way. Boom Boom's in the way, so he's going to go down. 3-9 is in the way for Jaylow, and he's going to finish this off here in just a moment. Taking a little bit of a cautious approach here, but I do like it. Jaylow does a very good job of keeping himself in the level, even if it takes you just a little bit longer. It's nice having... it's nice finishing it off the first time, because then you don't have to worry about playing it again. Budzy, on the other hand, into 5-9, everyone's favorite, and I think those with a cloud are going to be happy to see this level. Those without a cloud, not so much. Jaylow is able to get a damage boost through the blooper. Unfortunately, that blooper will not let up, and that does mean that Jaylow has to try to enter the next world as small, unless he decides to go ahead and play with another item. So that cloud, I believe, is still on the side of Jaylow. If he has a hammer, not a terrible option here. It'd be 2 levels that he could skip, so not a bad option. We'll see if Jaylow decides to do that. 5-9, of course, is not a very fun level for anybody except the viewers, because it does take a long time for our runners. It's something like, yeah, it's like 64 in-game seconds, and it's over a minute for sure out of game. The seconds don't always line up. Jaylow just trying to decide, what he wants to do there. Unfortunately, that Dry Bones was waiting. So we'll get 6F3 here. Once again, in just a moment, I think the anchor is a cloud. So very interesting for sure. All right, we'll get Jaylow back up here in just a moment. budzyRNG currently making his way through and just trying his best not to take any damage from any fire nippers or anything. He does not. He's going to be able to get through without any further casualties, and Jaylow will get caught up here in just a moment. Budzy now into the World 4 airship, and will be looking to see what happens next. Not going to try the P-Speed strat, is going to go underneath. He's got the flamethrowers, but he, of course, will take his time. And we'll get a mushroom at the end. So nippers galore for sure, not a good option. Jaylow realizing what he's got to do, and that's go back and play 6F3, because that lock is the only one that can be broken by this fortress. And vice versa. This fortress is the only thing that can break that lock. So 6F3 does have to be played. Jaylow taking no further chances, utilizing the star to its utmost power, and will be able to take out everything in his path, avoiding very nicely everything in his way. And now the escalator does commence once again for Jaylow. budzyRNG now on his way through to World 6. Get your guesses in real quick. What you got? I, once again, got to go World 4. I haven't seen it yet. Got to see it. We had 7-6-1-2. Or, I'm sorry, I guess we had 3-1-2. So 7-6-3-1-2. 4 or 5 is next. What you got? I'm going to go 4 once again because, hey, I got to be right eventually. And if I wasn't meant to give dad jokes on comms, then why did the princess just get to say insert dad joke here? I mean, come on. That doesn't seem fair if princess gets to make dad jokes and I don't. All right, so Jaylow and budzyRNG both doing their absolute best. Budsy into 6F1, Jaylow finishing what he started here, and we'll be looking for a fight with Morton here in just a moment. I'm almost a little interested as to why. Does Jaylow still have a hammer? I'm not sure of that. Princess gives Mario a not so subtle hint. We've seen that a couple times in games throughout the years. Like, hey, you want me to bake you a cake? Really? I'm just going to leave it there. So anyway, World 2, 5-9 now comes up for Jaylow. Interested again in why he hasn't taken an early exit here. I think that one's probably a little scary for Jaylow, as he does have just one life left, and of course 2 early exits from levels, losses on levels, however you want to call it, will prevent him from, well, I mean, he would have to start over the world, and this is not a friendly world. For it being a World 2, it is actually pretty disgusting all in all. World 1 with a boss pass, because hey, why not? budzyRNG now with the tail is just doing his absolute best to, ooh, tail whip a boss bass. That I'm not going to deal with this, and decide to put boss bass out for a few moments as he's able to progress further into the level. And further into the level is Jaylow, who is now going to take a 5-star fanfare, a 3-star 5-1-up fanfare, and we'll be able to breathe just a little bit easier, and provided he finds another disgusting level such as 7-5, 6-6, something like that, he can have a little bit more of an option there. So Jaylow now on his way through the coin ship, takes another 1-up, 2-up here, and we'll be going into the fight with the Boomerang Brother. budzyRNG utilizing that tail to take down a Fire Brother. No big deal. 2 Boomerang Brothers go down without a fight. Once again, we got another star because, hey, why not? Budsy now finding a army. He'll get the super tanks, and he will be going through this. No problems at all. Man, these guys with the tail whips, I got to tell you what, that is impressive. I don't know that I have seen this many aggressive plays with a tail to offensively move on in the level. So, like I said, in the randomizer, everybody loves the tail. You can beat people with it. You can fly over levels with it. You can fall slowly with it. There is nothing this tail can't do. I guess you might even say that the tail's the butt of the joke at this point. So the Jaylow is currently moving on with his tail, and will be moving into his fight with Morton here in just a moment. Budsy is on his way through World 6. World 6 is your ship, which happens to be in World 6. So that's World 6 in order of the randomizer, I should say, because he definitely just got through World 4. So World 5 coming up next here. Interesting level to try to finish with. There's a lot that can happen. Ultimately, there's no hammers that are going to be necessary for World 5. They're not going to be useful at all. So if you've got hammers, no longer going to be valid, no longer going to be useful. And both runners nearly in sync, just a world apart, but we're not going to count that. So Jaylow on to World 4, Budsy on to World 5, and then of course we'll have World 8 afterwards. Tail jokes need another spin, okay? I'll work on that. I'll come up with something. The tail end of the show. Okay, I will leave that to you guys to come up with puns for me. So let me know when you've got something, and I'll spin them up into the commentary. Ooh, 2 pipes at the very beginning. One is going to lead our runners to the tower. That's not the right one, Budsy. He's going to have to go back. He will, of course, be falling down into the tower, which we'll see in just a moment, but not before getting a mushroom, because items are so important in this, and even more so is a Hammer Brothers suit. So great call by Budsy to go ahead and play the hammer or the mushroom house, which happens to have a Hammer Brother, and it's like he knew where it was because he went to the 3rd one and found it. Now Budsy is going to have to make a decision. What does he want to do here? He's going to go ahead and play the blue fortress. The lock in front of the castle is blue, so I think this is a really good decision. Won't be able to go under the level here, so he's going to go over the level. unfortunately not able to avoid that lump, and that's going to cost him his mushroom. However, Small Mario, Best Mario in this level, I mean, not so much, but he does get under those ice walls very nicely, which is definitely necessary here, as he has some tight spots he's got to squeeze through. Jaylow now into an in card, finds a 20 coin, 10 coin. Neither one of those is going to match, so he's going to be on his way through to World Fortress and will be finding his way to the castle here in moments. So one level that will pop him out next to the fortress, that is the correct fortress, I believe, to move on, and 610 will be here. Oh, Boss Bass comes out of nowhere to grab Jaylow right out of the air. Should have had a tail. 3-2 on the way for Budzy, and this is not a kind level. This one just, it threatens everyone and everything. So, bleh. Budzy on his way through, doing a very nice job of just utilizing the cheap cheats for what they're meant to be used for. Jaylow's opting to not have to play this level and has decided to fly over it. Like I said, tail, best item. As he takes flight with that P-Wing, he is now out. And Boss Bass, not where he's supposed to be, nearly gives Jaylow a heart attack as he is coming down just to finish off the level and almost gets finished off himself. So thankfully that does not happen. Jaylow, losing that tail, will finally take down the Fire Brother, and gets a hammer. Unfortunately not going to be helpful, as hammers do not break blocks. Budzy now into 2-1. Decides not to skip the level. He does, I believe, have another cloud, if I saw that correctly, and will be able to utilize that for possibly a place in Bowser's World. Unfortunately, there's just never a good place to use that unless it's a place where you only have to cross over once and you know that. So we'll see if that cloud does come out for Budzy, or maybe over the next fortress. He doesn't actually have to play that fortress, as there is nothing in the way from the castle except that fort. Jaylow now through the super tanks and is doing his best to catch up. Our runner's doing a fantastic job so far. Budzy now into the World 7 airship once again. World 7 airship in the World 7 placement of our randomizer. So Budzy just doing his best to not take any damage here or fall. This is a very reminiscent level of World 8's Air Force, except there's not quite as many Monty Moles throwing, or I guess Rocky Mole, I think. Anyway, he's not throwing any wrenches, or not nearly as many wrenches in this one. But some of the platforms do get a little small, and of course those spinny things have been the death of many of us. So Budzy able to get through no further issues. In-card game currently vast underway for Jaylow as he decides what he wants to do here. Looks like he's able to get quite a few matches. We'll see if he's got anything good in the sleeves there. Looks like he won't quite give us a sneak peek into his inventory yet, but that's okay. We'll see it eventually, I'm sure. Jaylow now into World 6's airship. No clip try there, so he will not be going the top route. But get your guesses into chat now. We are going into World 8, and Budzy is going to be looking for Bowser as quickly as possible, and with that are the bridges that it will take to get to Bowser. So how many bridges do you think it'll take for our runners to find Bowser this time? I gotta go with 3. I think this has been enough of an interesting seed that I think we need to go for a 3 here. So get your guesses into chat, join me in that, and we will see what happens in just a moment. Jaylow having a little bit of a problem with Iggy, finally goes down without any more fight. Into World 5 or 7 in our randomizer is Jaylow, and into the dark room is Budzy, as he is currently making his way through to kind of get an idea of where he wants to go. He's got 3 pipes he could potentially try here. I'm curious what he's going to find. Jaylow on his way to World 5 in just a moment. All right, looks like 2. Meep Overlord. Very nicely done. You are absolutely correct. It is going to be two bridges, and we do have a couple of fortresses up already on this dark world, so we'll see what Budzy decides to do. He's got a Navy level that has come out to play, and unfortunately that cannonball is still alive and well as it takes Budzy down from a Fire Flower to a Super Mario. Jaylow now onto the first pipe, finds out, wait, that's not the right one, and is going to have to go back and find the one that takes him to the tower. So we'll see the blue fortress here in just one moment. Budsy now through. We'll see if it does anything on this. I saw nothing break. So Budsy going to go ahead and find the Fortress, which happens to be the one we were just talking about, Air Force. So the Navy and Air Force both in World 8. What's next? Well, we've already seen Super Tank, so maybe World 8 Fortress 1? Or the only World 8 Fortress, I suppose. Jaylow trying to figure out what he wants to do. He's got to go through that pipe. There we go. Now he's going to find the tower. He goes through. He doesn't have to play the tower. He's now on to the second part of this world, and he does have to play that blue fortress. But first, Mushroom. Budsy now into his fight with the Boom Boom at the end of Air Force. So very nicely, a very nice job of getting through without any further damage. It looks like Jaylow did not get the Hammer Brother item that Budsy did. But we will again have to see if the end card comes out to play. Cloud for Jaylow. He's going to be skipping a couple levels here quickly, I think. Wow, that is going to do it. The Air Force and the Navy are the two that prevented our runners from getting to Bowser's Castle. Very quick World 8 all in all, and Budsy is equipped with the battle suit. He's got the Hammer Brothers suit. He's got the Starman. He's got the clip. We'll see what other clips he gets here in just a moment. Anyone's clip should be coming up here in just moments for him. 6F2 on its way for Jaylow. Budsy looking to be very careful with his jumps here. A beautiful clip. Budsy is on fire today with those clips. I think legitimately going 4-4 on those clips between 7-6 and then all three clips here in Bowser's Castle. And that is going to be the end of it here in just one moment. Hi, Bowser. Goodbye, Bowser. Get your GGs in chat. Let Budsy know how much you enjoyed that run. And with that, Budsy will go 2-0 against Jaylow, who put up a massive effort. Both runners did a very fine job. Jaylow had a couple of really excellent 50-50 calls there and kept it very tight for the majority of it. So GG's all around for sure. And these two runners will be back at some point, I'm sure. We've got Macobra, who is currently 2-0. budzyRNG will extend his streak to 3-3. Leslie Pro is currently 1-1, and Jaylow will go 0-2, but there is still 4 games for him to play, and we will expect to see him back here soon. So next on the schedule for SMB3 Randomizer Tournament is going to be tonight. We've got a race at 8:30 Eastern. That is Homer J Smash versus Jaylow7, a couple of pretty well-known names here in the SMB3 community as well as the SMB3 Randomizer community, and that will be commentated by Leslie Pro and Pro A007, a couple of more names that are very well known in both communities as well, and Leslie Pro even in some other communities also. So don't want to miss that for sure. Going to be a great time, and that is over on Speed Gaming 2. If you're not already following all the Speed Gaming channels, then definitely make that happen, because they put on a lot of really good, really great content and do a very fantastic job behind the scenes. So we thank each and every one of them for their hard efforts and work and all that other jazz, because we wouldn't be here without them. So thank you to them for that. Go follow Speed Gaming and then Speed Gaming 236. Go find them, follow them, give them a like, follow, whatever the kids say these days. So Macobra 52 versus Jaylow7. We'll see Jaylow again here tomorrow, June 16th at 8 p.m. That's going to be a race. Currently undecided, but I do believe that's going to be featured. So definitely chime in or tune in and make sure you watch that. That's going to be from the Crazy Dude. And then July 17th is going to be Drykin versus Scarface Nico at 2 p.m. So do make sure that you're following that. And those have all been posted in the chat. So do make sure that you are following that for sure, because you don't want to miss a thing, I promise you that. Michael Volt, is my pleasure, and thank you for not banning me on comps for my puns. But enough about me. Right now, I have the winner of the match today, budzyRNG, here in the stadium, or the studio with me, not the stadium. I don't know where I am.
Well, it can be if you want.
We can be. Why not? Jeez,
exactly.
Very nice.
But I'm not gonna lie. I'm shocked. I thought that my routing decisions in World 3 was going to cost me that because I wasted a lot of time going all the way back to the other side of the level to play that fort that didn't even count.
Yeah, that World 3 was nightmarish, I think. To have
Brutal.
3 fortresses, that's just not fair.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to take the gamble because I saw the fort in the corner when I hit the pipe, and I'm like, I don't know if that's the right one. So I'm like, well, let's go back and play that other fort while we have the path for it. And then it turned up. I was like, well, what are you gonna do?
What we're going to do is add insult to injury because we're going to throw an Atlantis that's required in between.
Oh my god. Yeah, I remember. I think I used my. What do you call it there? I used an anchor for a cloud in that world too, and I clouded over that world. The next world was Atlantis. I'm like, you gotta be killing me.
I think you did something similar in World 2, didn't you? Because 5-9 showed up there as well.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I had to play 5-9. I clouded the wrong world. Of course.
Yeah, I legitimately felt bad, and I might have been a little critical of, which is easy for me to do on commentary, so I apologize in advance if you watch the VOD. But it seemed like a lot of the routing was very rough this time. It seemed like the 50-50s just did not go your way.
Oh, totally. I definitely made some questionable choices there for sure. Absolutely. I think there was a couple of misreads. Like, I know I misread the World 3 layout because there was a bridge there, and then when I realized that other fort at the top of World 3 wasn't required, and they just broke that lock, I'm like, well. And then I could have just stayed over there, and I almost played an extra level in World 3 too, because, like I said, I'd read the map wrong.
It's all good. In the heat of the moment, that is incredibly hard to do. That's why I can be critical here, because I can see what you guys are doing. It's not hard for me. But in the heat of the moment, that is super difficult to try to get through, because you've got so many things going through your head. You're trying to get through the level as fast as you can. You're thinking about the P-speed strats, what item you have on, what items you have in your inventory, possibly in card, because it's all randomized there. So you guys have a ton going on. Totally forgivable.
Yeah, and the thing about the end card is it always gets in my way. So I have the mindset of get me out of the end card as quick as possible. There may be a hammer, there may be a cloud, but I don't know. I tend to gamble on Hammer Brothers, but I skipped a lot of Hammer Brothers too, so.
Yeah, and at the very end, you happen to get a Hammer Brothers suit out of a mushroom house.
Yeah, I was actually in the back of my head thinking, please let me get a hammer suit here. And sure enough, I'm like, wow. I got lucky.
Honestly, it looked like you knew it was there, because as soon as you got into that, you went directly to that third box and you got it. Like, you must have known or something. I don't know.
I swear I didn't. I got lucky. I got really, really lucky.
Well, and that's actually something that a lot of people don't know, is those houses actually change. And if you don't believe me, go find the vanilla game. And not you, I'm more chat. I'm sure you believe me. You know this.
Yeah,
but
of course.
It's frame specific. So if you wait a little bit longer and then go to like the first box, it'll be a different item potentially.
Right.
It's 30-something years later, and this game still manages to impress, astound, and everything else. It's incredible.
It's unbelievable, really.
And you do have some huge fans in chat, by the way. Gustavo Shrapnel and Cleveland Tom both saying hi.
Thanks, fellas. Appreciate it.
So it looks like you've got some work ahead of you. Currently 2-0 against Jaylow. I'm sure that's definitely going to help. And I do believe that puts you at 3-3.
Yeah, 3-3. I split one with Leslie Pro. I got my butt handed to me by Macobra on my first race.
You and me both. Been there, done that. Macobra is an okay runner. I'm saying.
Yeah, he's all right, I guess.
Yeah, he's all right. Whatever.
No, he's really, really good.
Oh, yeah. The fact that he's gone up against...
Oh, no. Yeah, he's a stud at Rando, man.
Okay, enough fangirling for me. So you do have Leslie Pro that you split with, which I think is going to be very huge. If Macobra continues to sweep, is able to go 6-0, then there's very possibly a chance at a tiebreaker with Leslie Pro. What do you think about that?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
I'm telling you, there's a chance.
That'd be great if we can get a tiebreaker in, depending on our stats. I know there's a wild card implication in here, so see what we both look like. You know, I look forward to it if it comes down to that.
And I think that's one of the things that's really astounding about this whole tournament as just a whole, is we've got 44 runners, and not a single one is one that you could quote unquote sleep on. I mean, every single one of these people comes out and puts their all into it and really delivers an incredible event every single time.
Right.
So yeah, I'm very interested to see what happens with those wild cards. I can't wait to see how it all plays out. And even the Challenge Cup. I know Leslie Pro was in the Challenge Cup finals last year. Really, it just speaks to the quality of all the runners in this community. We have so many great runners that even in the Challenge Cup is still going to be a challenge.
Right. A lot of really good talent in there.
Oh, for sure. And I cannot wait to see what happens on both sides, as I'm sure the entirety of the community can't wait either. I mean, we're invested in this. We love seeing what happens.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm watching Jaylow trying to finish up here. He's being a trooper right now.
Oh, yeah. Got to give hats off to Jaylow. He really put a great effort up. It's just there's a couple things that kind of went away from him, and I'm actually a little surprised he didn't go for a double cloud there. He does have both clouds and might as well use them so you don't lose them.
Right.
But chat, while we are finishing up the race here, do go follow the runners. They put on a lot of really fantastic content. You don't want to miss anything. And the support means a lot to each and every person that does participate in our runs. So do consider giving them a follow. It's free, it's cheap, it's extremely quick. So, we'll be here.
Excellent. Thanks, House. All right.
So what did you think of that World 8? It seemed like you got through that awfully quick.
I got lucky. I found the path to Bowser quickly, and there wasn't a lot in the dark room. There was a lot going on in the hand stage room there. There was just so much stuff there. And it was one of those things. It's okay. So there's not a lot here in the dark room. There was just the Air Force, and then when I eventually made my way to the top right corner, and I found the last fort, I'm like, okay, maybe this will be it. It's a 2-bridge build, and let's see if this is it. Or if not, I'm gonna have to find my way back to the hand stage room. And then next thing I know, I go in the pipe, and I'm like, I got lucky again. It's very easy to get lost in World 8.
Oh, for sure. And especially with the way that seed had already played out. You saw Atlantis, you saw 5-9, you saw a couple of really disgusting levels, to say the least. And World 6, I think you had a 7F2 pretty early off the bat. And that World 8, I was surprised when both bridges came up. I expected it to be a lot longer.
Right. I was expecting it to break locks either at the start screen or even in the hand stage level there. It's just one of those things. I got lucky. Very lucky.
The randomizer gives and the randomizer takes away.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I know that. Oh, many times I've died. Like
Yeah, and I know that for a lot of runners, probably all of them, as soon as you die one time in the randomizer, it could be the nastiest level around, give even the most seasoned troopers a run for their money. And as soon as you finish, you lose out of a level, it almost feels immediate that you are behind. Like, no matter what happens from then on out, you feel like you're behind.
Oh, absolutely. With every death or every mistake that I make, I'm like, well, this is going to cost me the match.
Yeah, I don't know of a single runner. You talk to any of the veterans, you talk to anyone that plays this game, and as soon as they're in a race, you immediately feel like you're out. You've got so much that you've got to think about, and you just assume the runner found something that you didn't. Either that double hammer play, we've seen that come out to play. I know against Tapatio and Teeks last night.
Yeah.
Tapatio was able to do the double hammer play, and
I watched that race too. Teeks had to go all the way around.
Yeah, and how rare is that? That is the thing that will cost you the match. But it's unfortunate, but that's just how we play. That's the randomizer.
Right. The thing that cost me my first match against Leslie Pro yesterday was a double hammer play, because I had a hammer in World 6 that I used to break the rock to take the pipe to get to the end of the world, but then the next world was World 3. I only had one hammer, and he was able to pull way ahead of me to pretty much take it. I had to go all the way around, and they were just gone, because it was a really quick World 3. I played a lot of levels of World 3.
So I got to ask, because this is a little bit of a new new design that we're doing for the tournament this year. What are your thoughts with the format so far? I know brackets as well as the Challenge Cup are going to get even more interesting, as we're going to include hammers breaking rocks and locks as well as some other things. What do you think?
Ooh, wow, that's very exciting. I mean, this is my first rodeo in Randomizer, so it's been pretty exciting so far. I dig it. And whatever happens afterwards, I definitely look forward to either watching or hopefully maybe able to participate in. We'll have to see what the future holds out. But I definitely look forward to how the rest of the tourney is going to play out. It's going to be a lot of exciting matches. Going to be a lot of great races to watch. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely. And the prospect of a tiebreaker, I'm sure, doesn't really thrill you. I'm sure you'd love to see your ticket to brackets get punched right off the bat. But I know for the viewers and for everybody around here, we'd love to see a tiebreaker. How do you feel about going into something like that with Leslie Pro again?
Yeah, that would be exciting. That's a good adrenaline rush to have. It's like, okay, do we go or do we not go? Especially this being my first entry in the tourney. That's exciting. So if it comes down to that, I very much look forward to it.
Oh, we do as well. I mean, you have been extremely exciting to watch so far. You were just burning through those levels like they were nothing. And I mean, that really went a long way for you today. A couple 50-50s didn't go your route, but you were still able to pull it out. And that Hammer Brother, the clips, I mean, come on.
All right, so that tail clip when I got 7-1, that was complete luck. I thought for sure I was going to either have to enter the level, which I usually always do with a tail, because I can't tail clip to save my life. Even in vanilla, when I play it, I make sure I'm either Fire Mario or regular Mario. And then yesterday I call it a fluke when I had that first try wall jump as Big Mario in 6-9. Oh.
Hey, we take it. I mean, a lot of times in the randomizer, because in the vanilla, there is a way that you can actually like modify it a little bit so you know what the frame is going to be. I know there's a whole slew of things that go into it, but with randomizer, you can't prepare for that. 7-1 or 7-6. And so it is a lot of luck, and then do it with a tail.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, got lucky again. I mean, you never know when those levels are going to come up. You could be small Mario, and then you either, enter and die and take a power-up, or just tough it out, or hope you have a cloud, too.
For sure, and neither of those levels are very well known for a lot of players just because it's always clipped. And to have to go through that, especially in a randomizer, you could have any kind of an enemy set in there, and if it's something like the Fire Chomps or the Fire Nippers or anybody like that, that's going to be a bad time.
Oh yeah, that 4-5 that we came across that had that Fire Nipper at the very end, and I was small Mario then. Yeah, that was scary. I thought for sure that was insta-death.
Yeah, I feel you. That's always a very nerve-wracking time. Anytime the Fire Nippers come out, you could be completely away from them, but it's still kind of gut-wrenching when you sit there and see, oh
yeah, totally.
I think the one good thing about trying to go for that anyone's clip is you do still get a 1-up out of that, most likely. So
easy.
No big deal.
Yeah, easy. Even if you die, you have another shot to get in there.
All right, looks like that is going to do it, and do not blame Jaylow at all for that.
No, he gave a great fight. He made it all the way to Bowser's Castle. I mean, GG's to Jaylow too for making it that far. Seriously, really nice job.
Absolutely. And even a
Way to
time
play it
of
out.
57 is not a bad thing at all.
Yeah, way to play it out. That was awesome.
For sure. I mean, the mental fortitude just to finish that off, especially with some of the really tilting things that he had to go through. I mean, there was a lot of things that were really just frustrating. And that gets into your mind as a runner. And I know you know this better than anyone. Any of the runners that go through this, once you start letting those things get in, it's so hard to kind of pull yourself out of it and say, wait, I'm not done. Bowser still has to go down. And a time of 57 minutes, I mean, with some of the levels that we saw, that's not an easy task. You walk in and try to do something like that, it is frustrating.
Oh yeah, I felt the tilt yesterday in my first match against Leslie Pro. I mean, the end of the race, I just made some bad decisions. I died twice at Wendy, and I died I think a couple times at the beginning of World 8, and I was in complete tilt. I couldn't calm myself down. My brain was scattered all over the place, and it was just it was what it was.
I feel that. So it looks like we are not going to get an interview with Jaylow. Apparently, the A button stopped working. So hopefully he's able to get that rectified before the next race that he has, which will actually be tomorrow night. So hopefully he can get that all taken care of. But Jaylow for sure, man. GG.
Jaylow, GG, pal. Thank you, Jaylow, also. I just saw that in chat. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the raise too, pal. Thanks for the raise too, buddy.
All right. Well, I do think that's just about going to wrap it up here for us today. Budsy, any last final thoughts for the chat, for the runners? Anything?
Just thanks to everybody for watching. Thank you, Macobra52, for organizing this tournament. Thank you, SpeedGaming, for hosting us. It's I look forward to what the future has in store for the tourney, and I'll get another match tonight, I believe. I can't wait to watch that. And thanks to everybody. Really appreciate everything. So that's about it for me.
Very well said. And you are absolutely correct. Homer J Smash versus Ibuba7 over on Speed Gaming 2 at 8:30 Eastern. Do be there. You're not going to want to miss that. That's going to be a great time for sure. And again, couldn't said it better myself. Thank you to Speed Gaming chat for being here. Wouldn't be here without you all. On behalf of Jaylow7, budzyRNG, this is Growlwolf saying thank you from all of us at SMB3 Randomizer community. We really appreciate you being here. And until next time, keep randomizing, keep racing. Take care.